Hey, how's it going, guys? Cult of Mush back at it with another video, a $1,500 gaming PC build for you guys. Now, this is one of the higher end builds that I've done. Definitely don't think you have to get this build just to play games at 1080p and really good frame rates and really good settings. This is an all-around build, really good editing, super good gaming. So if you have the kind of money, definitely check this build out, but definitely don't think that this is, something you have to get to game at 1080p. This is definitely not for consumers like that. This is a really good build, but make sure you're going to be utilizing all of its features. So with that being said, let's get right into this video. Starting things off with the CPU, I went with the Intel Core i7 4770K 3.5 GHz quad-core CPU. This is a very good quad-core CPU, and it also has hyper-threading, which effectively makes this an 8-core CPU. Very fast CPU, works really well in gaming and video editing. You're getting i5-like speeds in gaming, but in video editing, man, this thing's an absolute monster. So it's like taking the FX 8350's video editing abilities, taking that up a notch, taking the i5's gaming abilities, relatively keeping it the same, a little bit better, mixing those two, and you get a beast of a CPU right here. Really good processor for gaming and video editing. Also, the K insignia in the 4770K means that you can overclock this CPU. I would recommend grabbing something like a Hyper 212 Evo that's on the cheap for $25–30. If you want to do more extensive overclocking like water cooling and things like that to take it to 4.2, 4.5, 4.8 gigahertz, that's up to you. But definitely if you want to pick up a Hyper 212 to do a little bit of overclocking, that's definitely not a bad idea. For the motherboard, I went with the MSI Z97-G55 SLI motherboard, an awesome motherboard for the money. This is an exceptional full-size motherboard with a lot of features. 4 memory slots up to 3300 DDR3 memory, 32 gigabytes of max memory, supports Crossfire and SLI 6 SATA 6 gigabit per second port, and onboard USB 3 headers. Just a loaded motherboard, really solid for around $130. And MSI has a great track record with their motherboards. They have good warranty policies, and all their motherboards are exceptional as far as quality goes, so I highly recommend this motherboard. It's not a super expensive motherboard, but this thing is loaded with features, and it's really good for $130. For RAM, I went with G.Skill Ripjaws X Series 16 gigabytes, 2 8GB sticks. Now, the motherboard does support 4 RAM slots, so this is 16 gigabyte, and the motherboard also supports up to a max of 32 gigabytes of RAM. So say 8 months, 16 months, 24 months down the line, you want to go for a 32 gigabyte configuration, you can do that. Just buy another kit of this RAM, and there you go. I didn't want to go for a 32 gigabyte configuration. 16 gigabytes is overkill in a lot of senses, since a lot of games don't even use 8 gigabytes, let alone 16. But in video editing, live streaming, things like that, 16 gigabytes does come in handy. So if you are into that, 16 gigabytes is definitely going to come in handy. And like I said, this is a $1,500 motherboard. You can afford crazy things like this. So I recommend the G.Skill Ripjaws X Series RAM is great, and 16 gigabytes is going to make this a very fast PC. For storage, for the hard drive, I went with the Western Digital Caviar Blue 1TB 3.5-inch 7200 RPM. This is going to be your mass storage. You're going to put all your movies, your games, all that kind of stuff, your pictures, all on the Western Digital Caviar Blue. It's a terabyte of space. You can go for a 2 or 3 terabyte if you want, but seems like most people a terabyte is more than enough for them. And for the SSD, I went with the Samsung 850 EVO series, 120 gigabytes, 2.5-inch solid-state drive. Only $90 right now for 120 gigabytes in SSD. When I bought my 120 gigabyte SSD, I got the Samsung 840, and that was about $140. So just think about that. SSD prices are definitely going down, and right now they're more viable than ever, and I highly recommend it, especially in a $1,500 build. With an SSD, your OS is going to be booting up much faster than if it was on a mechanical hard. SSDs are less probable to failure like hard drives because they have no moving parts. They're just really good for builds, and I highly recommend them, especially in a $1,500 build. It's definitely something you should go for. Moving on to the video card, I went with the MSI GeForce GTX 980 4GB Twin Frozr video card for around $555 right now. Really good graphics card. This graphics card is just an absolute beast. 1080p, it's going to kill any game. 1440p, it's going to kill most games. Just a really fast video card. You're also getting a free Ubisoft game when you buy this video card, those games being Assassin's Creed Unity, The Crew, or Far Cry 4. Yeah, I've already said it several times, Far Cry 4 is the best out of those 3 by far. AC Unity is shit, and The Crew is an alright racing game, but Far Cry 4 is on another level from those two. The GeForce GTX 980 is an absolute beast of a video card. If you're gaming at 1080p, honestly, I don't think you're getting everything you can out of this video card, but at 1440p, you're going to be maxing out even some of the higher end games like Far Cry 4, like Battlefield 4 and still be getting really good frame rates. So playing at a resolution like that and getting 60 frames per second is definitely a cool thing to do. I highly recommend it. With a GTX 980, you're going to be able to do that with a lot of games. So I would recommend, if you are buying this build, check out if you can afford a 1440p monitor. You can get those pretty cheap now. You know, some of them cost as little as $300, so I recommend it. If not, at 1080p, this video card is an absolute monster, and you're going to be able to pretty much max out any title and get really good frame rates and play at really, really high settings. For the power supply, I went with the EVGA Supernova Next 750 watt, 80 plus gold certified, fully modular power for around $85. This is a really good power supply. It's going to be able to power this build no problem, and you're going to be able to go for an SLI configuration if you want in the future. The Core i7 4770K is super power efficient, as is the GTX 980 for being such a high-end video card. And this is fully modular, so it's going to help you with cable management and things like that if you do want to keep your PC nice and tidy and things like that. I know some of you guys are into having a good interior in your PC, and definitely having a fully modular power supply helps with that. And for $85, I thought this was a really good power supply to put in the build. Finally, for the case, I went with the Corsair 750D ATX full tower case. One of the best cases on the market right now for $150. This is full tower, just loaded with room. You can go for upgradability, a lot of good ventilation, and a lot of good upgradability options. Like I said, this is a full tower case, so it's massive. And Corsair just has a great track record with all their cases, so highly recommend this case. And it's an extremely sleek case, and it's got the side window, which is always nice if you want to show all your buddies your PC and make them look in the insides. You can be like, yeah, I'm cool, you're not. And the 750D definitely allows for some of that. So thanks for watching this video, guys. Remember, hit that subscribe button, like this video. If you want to comment with any requests for future videos, always do that. I'm always open to new suggestions. So thanks for watching this video, guys. And I will talk to y'all later. Happy New Year to all of you, and I will talk to y'all later. Peace out.